Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going into the Stanley Cup playoff bracket, but looking at how the mascots would fare, and we are taking into account their on-ice ability. That's very important. We have the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. We have a moose and a bear, and as cuddly as this bear looks, it's more able. And I think, now both are on ice, it looks more able to go on ice as well. And I think that's an important factor. It just looks built for hockey. Game 2, we have the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. I have no clue what this Dallas Star thing is. It has nothing to do with the star. It almost looks like a green Philly Fanatic. Well, the Philly Fanatic's kind of green itself anyway. And a mean muggin' dog. Also has nothing to do with an avalanche. But that dog's definitely winning. It looks ready to scrap, and specifically on ice. We have the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. Neither look particularly threatening on ice, but I don't think the snake-looking thing is going to be able to go on ice really at all. So we're giving this one just barely to the Wild. We have the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. That's a lion and what I'm assuming is a bobcat, but I think the ice impacts both equally, although one is holding a hockey stick. But the lion is just going to win that one. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators. Now, if someone from Canada is looking at me like that on ice, I'm terrified. The Senators beating the bear, because that bear just looks way too cuddly to do anything to someone that looks that manic. Senators move forward. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. It's kind of weird that two Florida teams are playing in the first round, but cool. The Lightning are a B for some reason, and the Panthers are the cat on a quad. That beats the B. We have the Washington Capitals and the Montreal Canadiens. Now again, I want to give this to Washington because, bald eagle flying, the ice isn't going to impact it. That Canadian looks so docile, and that's terrifying because they're from Montreal, so there's no way it's docile. Montreal moves forward. We have the Carolina Hurricane and the New Jersey Devils. And the Devils, of course, have a devil as their mascot, and for some reason the Carolina Hurricane have a mouse? In any context, the devil is beating the mouse. Here's how the bracket looks after the first round is completed. Moving on to the second round, we start with the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche. And even though it's a bear versus a dog, in this context, this dog is mean mugging and ready for a brawl. And he takes down that bear pretty easily, and he looks very agile and ready to be on ice. Easy decision for me. Minnesota Wild and the LA Kings. Now, the Wild mascot just looks too friendly. The LA Kings lion, which I don't know, I guess king of the jungle. Not even in the jungle, though. The lion is taking this one down. We have the Ottawa Senators and the Florida Panthers. Now, this Senator is not going to be able to handle a Panther, especially one that knows how to ride a quad. It can definitely handle the ice. Montreal Canadiens and New Jersey Devils. This is where the Canadian life ends, in the hands of the devil. Here's the bracket as we move into the semifinal. In the West, we have the Colorado Avalanche versus the LA Kings, a mean mugging dog, and a lion. I think this is where the mean mugginess ends its superiority. It no longer makes much of a difference. They're both going to be impacted fairly similarly on ice. Lion takes this one. Florida Panthers and New Jersey Devils coming out of the East. Unfortunately, this is where I think the Panthers end. A panther riding a quad can only get you so far when you're fighting against the devil. Into the final, we have the LA Kings and the New Jersey Devils. And it is the only supernatural being in this bracket, so I think there's no question to the Devils reigning supreme. Now that's if the mascots were going to be the only competition, not the actual teams on the ice. So we have the Devil from New Jersey, not Hell's Kitchen, as our winner for the Stanley Cup Championship. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.